Hello everyone, Soyboy here. This is the second part to my fixing fankids video, so first and foremost, if you haven't seen the first half, what on earth are you doing here? That being said, thank you all for joining me in this second half. I'm going to be fixing Jeff and Vera in this one, the two fankids remaining. I'm not looking forward to Jeff one bit. If you guys have followed me previously, you'd know that Jeff is my least favorite member of the 4 fankids, just because I made him so unlikable, so it's basically entirely my fault. The tonal dissonance here is that Vera is actually my favorite member of the lineup, so this will certainly be an interesting video. Before I get onto the drawing, though, I'd like to say a few things about how I'm redesigning the characters. I've had some people say that the original designs are more interesting, and yeah, I agree. They are more interesting because they are more detailed and arguably better than these new designs. My goal with these redesigns is to make them simpler and more digestible for the homestuck art style, however, as if I was drawing them for an actual webcomic. With that being said, though, let's get on to the first character. Jeff, whatever will I do with you? If you watched my old fankid videos, you'll be well acquainted with Jeff and his neck-beard ways. Basically, Jeff's key personality trait was being a grimy 4chan user. He had no respect for others, was extremely self-serving, and actively tried to cause chaos within the friend group for no reason other than that he was bored. And I wouldn't have it any other way. That's right, I'm keeping him as a complete little asshole with almost zero redeeming qualities. Just for the plot, I guess. This story doesn't have a colossal asshole in it, so Jeff would be able to fit that role perfectly. Also, I kinda have big plans for him, so he has to stay super evil. His hobbies obviously match up with this mindset. He frequently peruses Reddit and 4chan, crafting memes and the likes. He considers himself a bit of a renegade sleuth, I think, like he's on some 100 IQ shit that nobody else seems to get. Personally, I find it shocking that he and Trey ever even liked each other in the first place, but believe it or not, they were dating for a time. Man, do I love toxic yaoi. I think Trey thought that maybe he could fix Jeff or change him, but he really couldn't. Jeff was born to be a menace, which actually makes Trey very sad, because he cares for Jeff extremely deeply, and doesn't understand why he has to be a manipulative conniving dictator 24/7. I think the reason that Jeff does it is because somewhere, deep down, he has to think he's unworthy of such great friends, so he actively tries to push them away. Pretty sad. But I can't feel bad for someone who ironically says my lady and has Cheeto dust all over his fingers. Other than that, I gave him long hair and a trench coat because I specifically think he'd be dwelling on some very troubling political forums, but I'm not sure I want to get into that. Whatever Jeff's old classspect was, is completely unimportant to me now, because it's very cut and dry what he really is. A bard of blood. Need I say any more than this chunk of analysis? He's a terrible friend. He really is. With that being said, though, I believe Jeff is finished. I didn't really fix him at all character-wise, but you can tell me what you think of him in the comments below. And now, finally, their time has come. My love, my one and only, Vera Francis. Chat, I really like them, and I can tell you exactly why. Number 1, their original design isn't completely terrible. The purple is good, I like the sweater vest, I like the long skirt too. For the sake of having them match with the rest of the fankids though, I'm unfortunately going to be changing Vera's outfit. The style I'm going for with these redesigns is far more simple, so we need to cut off some of that clutter. Number 2, their personality. Yes, it was a little dry, but they all used to be a little dry. I'm going to be tweaking it just a little bit. Vera is my shining star. I'm thinking of having them be a sort of Rose Lallen type. They're level-headed and even-tempered, but prone to waxing, poetics and going into lengthy rants. Vera would mostly act as the innovator in the friend group. They sit out of the drama and hysterics for the most part, but if you need a fresh pair of eyes on a problem, or someone to think outside the box, Vera is that person. They're extremely intelligent, naturally, and I think this would lead them to think that their other friends need to be spoken down to, even if that isn't the case. Every character has to have their flaws, I suppose. I think the rest of the friend group would see them as an outsider. Strange, mysterious, not unwelcome, but not entirely assimilated either. They're just a peculiar little guy. Their interests would still heavily revolve around tarot cards, fate, and spirituality. I think that Vera, being a prosperous dreamer, would see prophecies in the clouds, and this would lead them to believe that they are a spiritual guru of some sort. Also, they are still non-binary. This is because Vera thinks that gender is stupid, obviously, but also because these supposed spiritual experiences they are having on Prospect has led them to have a sort of god complex. They think their earthly being transcends gender. As for Classpect, they used to be a witch of mind. We already have a witcher mid-star rankings now, so I think I'm going to switch Vera to a prince of mind instead. This would be someone who destroys memories, thoughts, and decisions and destroys with rationality and judgment. I think this is very fitting, and I love how they turned out, but you can tell me what you think in the comments below. And with that, this little mini series is done. In my last video, I showed off some old drawings I did of Trey and Lacey, so in this one, I'll show you the drawings I did of Vera and Jeff. By the way guys, you really think you're sneaky going onto my Tumblr to try to find the drawings, before I even revealed them? Well, you succeeded, so I deleted them. I didn't think anyone would look my Tumblr up, but I guess you did, so if you wanna follow me, I'm at MiniResi on Tumblr. That being said, here's Jeff. I changed his color to yellow for some reason, and this is the first appearance of his long hair. He's an absolute chad in his adult design, which I will be changing. Here's Vera, or Dita? Yeah, not quite sure why I decided to change their name, but this is Vera. I think this adult version is an absolute crime. What happened to their curves? Terrible, and I'll be fixing that later. With that being said, though, this video is finished, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful day.